They're the liberal rednecks. They like cornbread and butt sex. They care way too much but don't give a fuck. They're the liberal rednecks that makes some people upset, but they got 3 big old dicks that you can suck.
Yeah. Hey, here we are. Trae, I beat you. Look at me. Quick
You
draw
did.
McGraw. Here we are. And hey, here's what you guys can do. Go to WellREDcomedy.com. That's WellRED comedy.com for tickets to our shows. Coming up, we're going to be in Raleigh, and then we got Minnesota, and then we've got Huntsville, Alabama. And help me out. My brain don't work anymore. DC.
Irvine, California, San Jose, California. Yeah, DC.
Yeah, so if you've got your, if you've been, what do they call it, the jab, if you've gotten the jab, if you've been pricked in your arm with that sweet, sweet COVID medicine, come see us. If not, you probably just want to stay at home and maybe get that jab. We're trying to do it. We're trying to do it the right way, folks. We got to get back to work, but by God, we can still be safe while we're doing it. So we'd love to see y'all. WellREDcomedy.com, WellRED comedy.com. And hey, if you got friends in those cities, tell them, tell your mama, tell your grandmama, tell everybody. We'd love to see you out here on the road. So that's all my plugs. Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Trae. Look, I'm fucking.
Also, you can go to patreon.com/Trae Crowder if you want some extra Trae Crowder action in your life. If you don't, I totally get it. But if you do, go there and check it out. Doing some fun stuff over there. Working on a review of Ted Cruz at present. Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, it is gross.
That's fucking gross. I mean, like, the way you're going to do it, it would hit for me to see. But
it's all talking about how gross he is and stuff, you know.
I think people really don't understand, like, how much you suffer for your art. Because me and you do, like, a completely different thing. Like, we're both definitely in the same genre of comedians. A, Southern, first and foremost. B, funny, I would hope, second and foremost. But C, like, obviously we talk about political stuff from our point of view. But, like, I've always said, like, you're a deep dive guy. I'm sort of I come in, I just kind of soar above for a while and go, that looks good. And then I just kind of maniacally beat that thing to death. But you're, I guess it's that you're smart and you're like attentive to details. You like, when I watch some of your videos, I'm like, God damn, this motherfucker reads. You know what I'm saying? So like, people just don't get how much you suffer for them.
Well, I'm fooling y'all then, because like I feel the same way as you feel, but with Smart Mark on SKUs, you know, like actually that's part of why I even started SKUs, because I felt like I didn't
read enough.
I didn't know enough, because like, you know, it's such an insight. Like I'm all for getting burnt out and wanting to unplug and shit. I get that. But at the same time, it's like, I just feel like the times we live in, you want to be sort of up on shit, at least to a certain extent. And Mark, you know, Smart Mark, he's all over it just in his regular life. He is. So that's part of why I even started that. He educates me frequently.
That's a little unfair to you, I think. Like, that's kind of like, that's like me working out my traps and being like, why don't they look like Goldberg's? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that motherfucker is just kind of, Mark's just kind of built different in that regard. But I'm glad that you brought that up. Actually, I want to talk about unplugging for a little bit, because like I have like frequently, like I'm I think that you'll agree with this. Like I'm a very bingey type person. Like
you definitely are.
When I'm doing something, like if you have me doing something for you, you can definitely expect to get 100% of me. If I'm committed to doing it, I'm going to do it. And I will do it until I've fucking exercised everything out of that thing. And then once I'm done, I'm fucking done. And I kind of have that relationship with social media where like I'll just be on a creative streak and I'll be making this video and that tweet and this yada yada, whatever the fuck. And then I will like absolutely burn myself out. And I'm like, dude, you need, like, I can't just have a regular day for every day for the rest of my life. I have to go super hard in the paint for like 14 days and then I need a break. But like, I always go like, oh man, you can't really take a break nowadays because you'll miss so much. And I thought, no, you know what, dude, what could fucking happen in 7 days that was really that big of a deal? The fucking, I text you like 6 days after this shit had happened. Like, hey bro, did we fucking pull out of Afghanistan or some shit? Like, dude, you really can, like, nowadays miss so much in just 3 days. And I can't decide if like that's a good thing, like it's like, hey, dude, like what were you gonna do? You know, it's nice that you took that 3-day break. Or if it's like, hey, man, I don't know, as people who vote and are maybe affluent, maybe we have the responsibility that we have to torture ourselves every single day, and you have to keep up on that. Because I'll be honest with you, like I was pretty embarrassed to not know a lot of things that I definitely like, things that I've made fun of my wife constantly for, like, are you how do you not know that? And it will blow my mind that she doesn't know something, and I figured it out. It's just she doesn't have Twitter. You know what I mean? Like I don't know anything either when you take me off Twitter for 8 fucking days.
No, I think that, like I said, I mean, I think getting burnt out and being like, fuck this, and just walking away for a little while for like your sanity or whatever is fine. But I do think that, you know, Amber marches to the beat of her own one-armed drummer, you know, but like,
yeah.
So no disrespect there, but like I was saying, I just feel like, I do think you just, particularly nowadays, I just feel like you ought be at least somewhat up to date on the shit that's going on, just because it's all so, you know, terrible and incessant. So like you know.
Well, I mean, not to try to sound woke here, because I swear to God I'm not, but like in 8 days I realized how easy it is for a white man to convince himself that everything's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Like I had a great 8 days. Like, I had not a fucking care in the world, because like that just showed my life is actually good. It's the other bullshit going on that I need to be aware of, because like it's just so easy to get yourself in that bubble. Now, granted, it's also easy when you're on Twitter nonstop, which can be a bit of an echo chamber, to kind of forget what the real fucking world is like. But that was the education that I got in literally just 8 days, which was like, damn, think about all the shit that you don't know right now just because you took one application off of your phone. And then think about the fact that so many people you grew up with, they just don't have that application. And you think that they're just fucking head in the sand assholes. And it's like, okay, they are a little bit, but like, you're better than them just because you've got this fucking app on your phone that has the trending, you know, which senator butt fucked who on the side of it. Like, I'm better than them, and I'm more. It's like I'm watching the fucking news. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting to see if you retweeted something.
I was about to say, like, you know, for a long time, I think like, for a long time, obviously people didn't have Twitter, so you had to, but people, like, you know, people used to watch the news and shit, and not just old people. Like, but you that was a thing you did
had to watch
as like
the
an
news.
adult in society, was you watched the news or read the newspaper or both. Like, imagine, you know, now, but that's all. And I feel like the people that ain't fucking with Twitter or anything now that you're talking about probably would have been the same people that, you know, didn't watch the news or read the paper or any of that type of shit. You know what I mean? I think it's just like the sources of information have shifted, which is also problematic, depending on where you're getting it from. Obviously, because a lot of them people are not unplugged; they are plugged in, but they're plugged into just, you know, lunacy.tv all day long, just, you know, watching the news, but it's all just not at all true or anything. So that's a whole other story. But I think the dynamic you're talking about with people, just some people trying to keep up with shit and other people's not at all, has probably been, you know, long time.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been that way for a long time.
Yeah, for sure. I guess you're right. And I mean, and that's the thing is, like, I know when cable news first came out, like when Ted Turner first invented the 24-hour news cycle and cable news and shit, of course there were people who were just getting their shit from Walter Cronkite who looked at that the way that we look at getting our news from Twitter now. Like, I'm not stupid enough to not think that that's kind of true, but like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just kind of fucked me up in my brain. Like, I feel like a bad person.
It ain't getting it from Twitter. It's like, it's who you're getting it from on Twitter. You know what I mean?
Right. It's not like Twitter is its own thing.
Right. Because Twitter could be whatever. You know, if you're following nothing but like the One American News Network type of people, that's all you follow on Twitter. Twitter going to be a very different thing for you than it is for, you know, you and I. So, but again, you used to couldn't even really do that. And it wasn't Ted Turner started CNN, but CNN was ostensibly just regular news, just all the time. But then fucking Rupert Murdoch with Fox News is when it all really started kicking off, because that was the start of that whole choose your own adventure type thing that we got going on full force now.
I don't care for it.
Me neither. It does not hit. I agree.
I mean, I think I texted you. I think I texted you like 4 days ago. It was like, I'll tell you what, being in a bubble kind of hits, because it was it was a peaceful week. But hey, man, a lot of shit happened. So again, these are things that I needed to be caught up on. We left Afghanistan, and somehow that's bad. And people, if I'm not mistaken, are taking horse pills.
They are, yeah.
Or some type of horse paste.
Yeah.
Now,
horse pills is funnier to say. I mean, horse paste is also funny, but I just like saying that they're taking horse pills. That's like the funniest version of it to me. But yeah, livestock dewormer. I actually knew about that before it became like a big story. Like recently,
I had heard something, but I thought it was very, very like fringe.
So me too, because so my mother,
which I thought about QAnon too, for the record.
I don't know. A member of Katie's family works at the co-op in Wayne County, right? And so Katie was telling me that people in Wayne County, and this was like if ivermectin has been like a relatively big story for
that's how you say
for like 2 weeks now, or what, I don't know the timeline, but let's say it's been like 2 weeks now. This was like 3.5 weeks ago. Katie was telling me that her relative who works at the co-op in Wayne County was saying that people were coming in getting these horse pills, getting ivermectin or whatever for COVID stuff. And I was like, what? And what else would you say? And she's like, yeah, apparently they've somehow decided that this is going to be the thing. And like you said, I was like, when I first heard it, I was like, I don't know why I keep thinking things like this, but I thought, surely not. I don't know at what point I'm going to stop like underestimating the fucking stupidity of these people.
Because it defies their logic. Because it goes, it's usually with that type of insane person, usually COVID's just fake, right? And they're like, COVID's fake. They're just trying to make money on the vaccine. But then in order to take the horse pills, they have to admit, oh shit, something's wrong.
Right.
But I'm not going to go with the thing that they say for me to take. I'm going to go with horse pills.
Yeah, I know. I agree. It's what's so weird about it. It's like you also shared in a text thread a Facebook post from a Chickamauga person. Yeah. And that person was like, went on this whole tirade that was basically saying like, okay, so we all recognize, and we're like, okay, so here's how the vaccine works. It might not keep you from spreading the disease, but it seems like it keeps you from getting as sick and or dying. You don't die from the disease if you take the vaccine. Now think about the people who are dying from the disease, the unvaccinated. Now think about the political affiliations of people who are more inclined to be vaccinated, right? And he's like, so think about who's not getting vaccinated politically, and what better way to control a populace than to, and then it takes this wild ass turn at the end where he's like, basically make a concoction that can mind control your subjugates. So you can mind control the liberals. That also keeps them alive, but kills off your opposition, the conservatives or whatever. And, tell me that don't all make sense. And it was just such a wild thing to me, because it's like, you're opening with, look, obviously we know the vaccine keeps you from dying.
Right. It's a very self-aware wolf / like, I ain't gonna lie, they had me in because like when the first 2 paragraphs, it's like this could have been written by almost anyone on any side, because it's just the truth.
It's just true. It does
just the truth.
You still can spread it. It does keep you from getting as sick and also keep you from being as likely to die. They are less likely to get it. We are more likely to get it. But it's like there's this whole thing, like reading it as a sane person, you're like, okay, so why don't you get it then?
Right, just get it.
But it's because it's like you're acknowledging that it works, right? But that's why you can't get it, is because you'd rather be dead than a liberal or whatever, I guess. Like, but
again, these are the same people who they think that the Democrats at large can pull off all that, but they couldn't get Hillary Clinton you can't be more Democratic elite than Hillary Clinton, and they couldn't get her to beat Donald Trump. So they're like, okay, plan B, we'll cause a global pandemic, and then we'll put microchips in the vaccine, and we'll just kill all the Republicans.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. I mean,
but
pretty good plan.
It's just right. Yeah. That they would ever have the competence to pull something like that off is asinine, but it also, I don't know. It's so weird that they will acknowledge that it works.
Right.
But, and works.
But don't hit for them.
Right. Yeah. They're like, look, it'll keep you from dying. Sure.
Of course. Sure. Yeah.
But I ain't fucking with that.
Yeah.
And it's just,
I mean, as far as the vaccine goes, I mean, I guess it's all right, but
Yeah. I don't know, man. And then also just that again, like you were saying, if you're going to get ivermectin, you're like, I've got this real disease. Right. I need to treat it. But you're listening to Facebook
right
over every medical professional in the world pretty much, except for the 3 crackpots that they'll put on Facebook.
I was about to say, they've heard about this from some fucking person, like somebody that they deemed credible enough, like some sort of doctor, like some fucking Marianne Williamson type witch person has put this in their head. And I just can't for the life of me understand why they're like 99% of scientists and doctors say this, but it's definitely this fucking moron telling me to get horse pills. I don't know, man. I can't. Cause like, what do you know what it is about what is the thing? I don't either. I mean,
about ivermectin, why they think it works. No, because it's like I said, it's a anti-parasite thing, a parasitic or whatever you call it.
It's a deworm.
It's a dewormer, yeah. So it's for parasites. It's for various types of worms and stuff. And obviously, COVID is a virus. So not that at all. There's I have
logic,
no idea.
Like, why aren't they just fucking taking chemo? You know what I mean? Like, what?
It's also like, they said, well, we don't know what's in that vaccine. We don't know what it does to you or whatever. It's like, so I'm a drink from this bottle with a sheep on the front of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like this, I'm just drink this sheep medicine instead because I know I can trust that.
Yeah.
That
was made for an animal.
Yeah. It's insane.
Is the Intervectin, is it FDA approved? Like, does animal medicine have to be FDA approved?
I think so. And okay. So as I understand it, there is a human version and it's for a parasite like scabies and lice and stuff, human parasites. And that's all FDA approved. Matter of fact, the drug itself won like a Nobel Prize because of how effective it is. But again,
not against COVID.
It's effective, right? Yeah, it's effective against a very different thing.
Advil, also a fine drug,
but it's a very, very legitimate drug for what it does. And as I understand, there is a human version for like scabies and lice and stuff. But like I said, I heard about this first from people going to the co-op in Wayne County. Like most people are not, because to get the human version, you have to get it prescribed. And to get prescribed, you got to either go to some kind of shady online doctor or you've got a crackpot doctor or something. But if you got the human version prescribed to you, I don't think it would really fuck you up or anything.
But it's not
going to help. It's not going to help COVID, but it's not going to fuck you up or anything. But a lot of these people have just been going to fucking the co-op or Tractor Supply or whatever and getting the animal version. And like, as I understand it, a drug is a drug. But of course, the version for a horse is like regulated for an animal that's 1,000 pounds.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the drug.
So some of them really just need to take half.
Yeah, or less than half. Right. The drug itself is the same, but there's still a huge difference in taking fucking the human version and the horse version, like. And your smart Mark sent us in the group thread those screenshots from like ivermectin groups on Facebook and stuff where people are in there like, Hey, so I took a few servings of this, whatever, and I've just been shitting myself, and then I shit myself at the
Yeah.
fucking Walmart. They're all
Yeah.
pooping themselves,
Yeah.
like because and they think like, oh, diarrhea is a side effect. I read on Reddit, not sure if this is true, but taking it in those amounts, what could be happening is they're like shedding their intestinal lining.
Oh my
So
God.
it's like they're all just in there like, is this normal? Like I'm gonna,
Yeah.
And they're still coughing and shit too, still feverish and whatnot. But now
Yeah, because
also they're pooping everywhere.
they
And
just made it worse.
and at no point are they like, maybe I should maybe it's the horse pills. Maybe I should cut out the horse pills.
Right. And
For
again,
the pooping, I mean.
you just would think that most of these people would do nothing. Like
Right.
that's the
Yeah.
part that blows
That
my mind.
I get
I get doing nothing because you're like, this ain't it. This
I think that is
immune
also
system.
stupid. But if you're like, fuck it, I don't care. It's a bunch of horse shit. And then that leads you to do nothing at all.
Yeah.
Just live your life as though it isn't real. I think you're still an idiot because it is a real problem. But I understand the logic of that. But but all these other people who clearly are concerned about, the disease itself.
Yeah.
But then make the hard right turn to fucking taking horse pills for it. What do you even do with that, man?
I mean, it's one of them things where you just don't ever really think about it. You think, I mean, no matter how open-minded you try to be on either side, everybody still really in their mind thinks in blacks and whites a lot. But there's a lot of nuance to being a dumbass motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like every dumbass motherfucker isn't the exact same dumbass motherfucker. There are like different shades because like, yeah, in my mind, I want to go, I don't get it. I thought these people didn't believe it was real. But it's like, no, I guess there are some people who believe it's real, but also think that but the vaccine part's the bad part, not that it's fake. And then there's like a whole different group of people. Like, have you seen? I don't know if you've seen. Well, no, where you're at though, masks are required again. So, this is a little different thing because down here, first off, they were never really required.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, I think that some stores were required to say that they were required. You know what I mean? Like they had to have a sign out there, but they were not going to turn you away. But right now, we're living in a time here where like they're encouraged again, but they're definitely not required at anywhere. And I see people all the time in the grocery store. And I will say I'm pretty proud of Chickamauga at certain times of the day. It depends on when I go to the grocery store. But like I went in the other day and like literally everyone had a mask on. I was like, damn, okay, look at here. A lot of old people for the record, which I think old people have started to be like, look, man, goddamn, it don't matter who I voted for. Ricky's dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. I feel like at this point, so many people know someone.
Yes, they do.
Died.
Everyone in Chickamauga does, and they're full of shit if they say they don't. Because our buddy Snake died, and like everybody knows Snake. You know what I'm saying?
Snake, yeah.
And he was a younger dude. Like, when I say younger, I mean he was 55. But like, bro, that's way too fucking young. You can't just be, well, I mean, he'd lived a life. Like, get the fuck out of here. Right. But like, I see people that masks are no longer required at all, but they're wearing them, but they're still wearing them with just like this, like with their nose
sticking out.
Like I get when they were required, you just being like, I don't really want to wear this, so I'm going to wear it like this. But now you don't even have to be wearing it, but you're wearing it wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I have to think that person genuinely doesn't, they're genuinely so stupid that they think that's fine. Because otherwise they just wouldn't have it on.
I agree with that.
And that's a nuance. Yeah. That's a very nuanced type of stupid. Like that's a stupid motherfucker that means well. And those people do exist. Like I think we also think like anybody that's a rock stupid, conspiracy dumbass just hates and hates and hates. But like that person wearing a mask right now in Georgia when it's not required, in their mind is like, I care about myself and I care about others, but they're so fucking stupid that they're still breathing through their nose. So like, I just can't make heads or tails of it, man. Like, I don't know what to fucking do. Like this whole thing, like honest to God, in my opinion, almost more than Trump, this has like really put us under a microscope. Yeah. And like, because this one is not even like well, it is a Republican or Democrat
right.
thing, but
but it shouldn't be.
But it shouldn't be, right? Whereas like the Trump thing is like literally he is a Republican, right?
But
Like
that a lot of that is because it all got started when Trump was still in office, and he you know, he couldn't have handled it more poorly and everything. And it was the election was going on while this was happening, and he was like making fun of Biden for wearing a mask and all that, and it just like it got politicized, and now. But I agree with you though that it's like yeah, dude, and it's so many things about them are just so on the nose. I swear I'm starting to think we are in a simulation.
Dude,
or something.
I'm telling you,
like
man.
The fact that it's horse medicine.
Oh, it's so funny.
I mean, it could have been
anything
any other thing that also isn't effective against COVID, but it's just like, it's for a foot rash or something.
Yeah. And you would be horse.
And you would be like, what the fuck are they doing? Come on, man. But it wouldn't be that egregious. But the fact that it's fucking for farm animals, like it almost makes me think that wherever it did originate was like some troll.
Yeah.
Fucking with them.
Somebody
I bet we can get them to take horse pills. What do you think?
Yeah. I bet you anything that we can fucking get all these people who just read Animal Farm in 1984 for the first goddamn time. I bet we can get them to take medicine intended for livestock while espousing the views of if you take the vaccine, you're a sheep. Dude, I know, dude. But you know what's fucking crazy is like, again, how everything's so nuanced. I've got a buddy who just now got the vaccine. He could have got it when I got it. He just now got the vaccine. But the reason that he waited is because the vaccine was like pushed first by Trump and he didn't trust that shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, it just kind of went like, he was like, look, man, I've stayed in my house. I believe in all that stuff. I'm going to get it now. It's approved or whatever. But like, I'll be honest with you, like when Trump was coming out talking about, oh, I'm going to rush these vaccines. I was like, I don't like this motherfucker. I don't know about that shit. And I was like, this goddamn, like what a fucking whirlwind of different options to be stupid that we all have.
Right.
And I don't want to sit here and just be like, oh, I got my vaccine 4 months ago. Clearly I'm the smartest person in the world. Like I definitely early on in the pandemic would have a couple beers and be a little bit loose with the whole shelter in place thing. I'm not going to act like I fucking wasn't. I haven't been the best, but like, it's just like, again, this goes back to me talking about like living off the grid. That just means I didn't have Twitter or Instagram for 8 days. But like, I started like actually having to look to other sources for things and having these conversations. I'm like, oh my God, I've really had my head up my ass like for so long, thinking that every single person has the exact same information that I have. And that's just fucking not true. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just not at all fucking true. Like, dude, oh my God, I didn't tell you this, how fucking humbled I got the other day. You're going to love this. I got a buddy. Right. You're going to fucking love this. Let me preface this by saying, me and this dude, when we were tight, we were pretty tight. He's my buddy Aaron's cousin. I haven't seen him in like probably 3.5, 4 years, maybe, because he got married and then we started touring and shit. Hell, it might have been 5 years ago that I hadn't seen him. Actually, it was at a funeral. And anyways, we were watching the fight the other night and he came over and I was like, holy shit, Vitamin D. That's what I always called him. And I was like, Vitamin D, what's going on, brother? He was like, holy shit, dude, I hadn't seen you in so long. I was like, yeah, man. So we were just like catching up and he goes, so what you been up to? And I go, oh man, you know how it is, just burning the roads up. He's like, burning the road? What do you mean burning the roads up? I go, just being gone all the time. He goes, why are you gone all the time? And I go, doing stand up. And he goes, oh man, you still doing that? But it was in that moment that in my mind, I was like, how the fuck could he not know? Like, this is a guy from close to my hometown. How could he not know what I have going on? Here's the answer. He's not on fucking social media. You know what I'm saying? That's why. And in my brain, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm huge on. Why wouldn't you know? It's like, well, I've got 3 kids and I don't fuck with Twitter. Now again, once I brought him up to speed on how much I hit, he was like, that does hit. You did. Yeah. But dude, I haven't for so long heard, oh, are you still doing that? And I was just like, oh my God. But again, that was a moment where I realized like, oh my God, the internet, which is where we all live now, is still not really a real place.
Does he live in Chickamauga?
No, he like neighboring city.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I would like,
he's not, we didn't grow up together.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I met him late in life. He's a dude that I grew up with, cousin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, because I was just like, knowing how Salina is, Twitter aside, just Salina was one of those places that, like, you know, like pretty much any small town, I think, but like everybody knew everything about everybody else all the goddamn time anyway, way before social media. And I'm sure social media, I remember like pre-Facebook and shit, there was this website. I'm sure it still exists, but it was called like Topics with an X.
Oh yeah, X. Yeah. I remember Topics.
Topics.com.
Yeah, when I got a DUI, I was all over Topics.
Right, exactly. And that was huge in Salina. I'm saying Salina.
By the way, guys, when I got a DUI at 16, when I was very stupid, and I would never do that again. Just throwing that out there.
Topics like Salina was on the damn vanguard of talking shit about people on the internet. You know what I mean? Because they were finding ways to do it before Facebook and all that shit even came out. Because it was just a huge thing culturally in Salina, and I'm assuming still is. So, like, I would very, very much assume that anyone in Salina knows the deal with me, and probably is not a big fan of it. You know what I mean? So, like,
Chickamauga proper, that's probably the deal. Drew's about to hop on, but before he does, why don't we take care of some business real quick? How about that? Hey, dinner time can be chaotic. We all know that, but with Freshly, our friends over at Freshly, it's easy. Their chefs take care of your meals a few nights a week and take the pressure off of you. We're all trying to get in shape and eat right. You boys crushing at that, by the way. I don't know if you can see here, but I'm getting ripped, bro. Freshly can help. Their delicious meals are designed by nutritionists and cooked by chefs, making it easier to eat better. Freshly offers chef-made, nutrient-packed, delicious meals delivered fresh to your door. No cooking required. Ordering's easy. Also, you just go to freshly.com and choose from over 30 delicious, satisfying, better-for-you meals like the steak peppercorn, the sausage baked penne, or their chicken pesto bowl, or the buffalo chicken that I had the other day. Very, very tasty and very low in carbs. Tremendous stuff. Freshly can fit your lifestyle with a variety of plans and meals to pick from that work for your dietary needs, preferences, tastes, and family size. At just starting at $6.16 per meal. Are you shitting me? Get out of here. Stop searching the internet for healthy food near me every night and failing. Just start living life freshly, baby. Right now, on the screen here, if you're watching on YouTube, Freshly is offering our listeners $40 off your first 2 orders when you go to freshly.com/WellRED, WellRED. Stop stressing about dinner, guys. We got enough stress in our lives. Go to freshly.com/WellRED for $40 off your first 2 orders. That's freshly.com/WellRED for $40 off your first 2 orders. And we thank them for sponsoring the podcast. And also now, fresh from the doctor, it's Drew Flu Dollars.
Hey, Drew's got the flu, everybody.
Intro.
Thank you.
That was a
What's
good
up,
intro,
man?
though. Oh, you guys didn't tell everybody I had the flu? What'd you say?
Not yet. You didn't say shit.
Well, we didn't know.
We honestly thought you might just jump in at any time.
Yeah.
So we were just like,
when we started, I thought you might just be showing, which you kind of did, but 30 minutes in.
Yeah. So
well,
no, we hadn't.
Part of the reason I jumped on is I am going to Bonnaroo either tomorrow or the next day, depending on how quickly I recover. And I didn't want people to see me. I didn't want people to see me like spaced out, eyes as big as dinner plates, with green hair. Like, oh yeah, right.
I hear you.
I'm at work, technically. Hey, that's my niece.
Hey, what's up? Is that your niece?
Anyway, yeah. She painted my fingernails.
Yeah, so if you see Drew at Bonnaroo tomorrow, he will have the flu.
Yeah. Nah, this started late Saturday night.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
I thought it was COVID. Like, I definitely thought it was
Well,
COVID,
of course.
Because by Sunday, I was achy. And then I started coughing yesterday and sweating like I had like cold, hot, then sweating. And I was like, here we go.
Dude, I've thought it every time I've been hungover. Like when I went 4 months sober, I swear a lot of it had to do with like at the beginning, all this shit. We were all drinking a lot because everybody was just at the house getting hammered. Every single hangover, I was just like, I got COVID. I fucking got COVID. And I just got sick of doing that. But now I'm vaxxed, so I feel a lot better about it. But like my hangovers now officially last 2 days. Like no matter the amount of drunk, like used to, no matter how old I was, you could definitely get so drunk that you had a 2-day hangover. But now, like that's just the base for me. Is it's 2 days, And now on the second day, it's more of a lethargic kind of I can't move shit. And I'm just like, well, I got fucking COVID. So yeah, I feel you. I definitely, if I sneeze or anything, I'm just like, it's definitely COVID.
Is Drew frozen on your screen?
I think his phone got the flu too.
It's funny because I don't know what you see, but he's making a hell of a face.
Is it this?
Yeah, it's wild looking. There he is.
Yeah, there he is.
It turns out my internet got the flu too.
That's what I said.
That's what
I made that joke.
said.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. That's all right.
The other reason I wanted to jump on here because I don't know what y'all talking about. Never mind. Sorry.
We talked about ivermectin and.
Yeah, we were at the break. We talked about our lovely sponsors, and then you came on. We figured we'd change the subject when you came in hot with some flu talk.
Well, I mean, ivermectin and flu talk are definitely in the same vein, unfortunately, in this country right now. Man, I've been thinking a lot about it because, like, I went down there to get it, and those nurses, I was like, I'm here for a COVID shot, and the lady, or a test, and the lady was like, okay, no mask on. The people who worked at the doctor, the receptionist, but like that's, and I was thinking about it, man. People went from like this is a hoax to I'm gonna take horse paste. Like they believe in it now, but it like I don't know. It feels like climate change in a way where like I don't think some of these folks are capable of accepting what's happening. Is why they deny it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes, with kind of what we were talking about, we were like, I told Trae, I said, this is like, and I can't believe I'm saying this, especially so soon after, but I was like, more than Trump, I think this whole deal has really put a microscope on everything and made us understand really the division that we have. And Trae made the point of like, right, because this shouldn't be political. Like the whole Trump thing, at least like it was Democrat versus Republican, but this right here, it's like no one can just be like, okay, fuck it. It's medicine and diseases are bipartisan. So who gives a shit? Like, I don't remember any of this during SARS. And here's probably why. During SARS, we had a team in place that handled shit like this, and it was fucking gone real quick. And those are the people that Trump took out. So maybe that's fucking why. But like, yeah dude, it's weird.
I've seen that during few pandemics. I don't remember which ones. I think even smallpox. There were like smallpox deniers. The head of the smallpox, denying club, whatever that is. I don't remember his name or the name of the group. Died of smallpox.
Thank God.
So that almost like made me feel better because it's like this isn't just a product of the internet. It's
of course
just that the internet allows us to see it and has made it more prevalent. It's not. In other words, it's not unique to our time. I think human beings are incapable of facing something this scary. So their brain creates a reason to latch onto that it's not that bad.
Well, I'm willing to be wrong. I just don't think I am. And I've had to have this conversation so many times because I grew up religious and around a bunch of old people. And Drew, as well as I do, old religious people are constantly saying, we're living in the end times. These are the worst times we've ever lived. Like, and if a preacher saying it, well, they all do. Like I remember when I was a kid and Disney had Gay Pride Day. It was like we're living in the end times. The earth's about to open up. We're all going to fall into hell. They were saying it in the '60s. That's just the move, But like I've had this conversation a lot, especially now. They're like, look around the world, all these. But my thing is like with so much of it, it's like, is this worse? Or do you now just see everything? Because, and I'll say this, I just took 8 days off of social media. And if I just lived my life completely how I did for the past 8 days, I would not at all think that we were living in bad times. And like all these old people now get Facebook and they're just on Facebook all the goddamn time. And I was talking to this mamaw one time and I was like, so you don't think if you had Facebook in the 50s and 60s during all the Malcolm X and shit like that, you don't think it would be lit up and you would be thinking these were terrible times? Like y'all just didn't know everything. And when you know everything, you think it's the worst.
Well, people definitely were saying wild stuff back then, but maybe I'm like kind of on the other side of this one a little because I know what you're saying and you're right. But like I've been working on a bit about how my dad and I feel the exact same way about the world right now. Just coming at it from totally opposite directions.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's why my brain's been thinking this way. But like with fires, global warming,
Okay, yes, that's
Hurricane
worse.
Katrina, the pandemic. Like it's the book of the Revelation out there. Like
Okay.
I'm a part of me's waiting on the four horsemen to come down and just take me out.
I will admit that
What
yes.
if the four
Okay.
horsemen bring their own Mectin?
That, the four horsemen are screwed because we took all their horses' pills. But like, yes, okay, climate change and all that shit, like undeniably that stuff's getting worse, but that's because humans have always been shitty. You know what I'm saying? Like human beings have stayed the same bad, and because of that, now we're having to pay for it with the climate and shit.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of folks who would point out that writing the book of the Revelation ain't hard because all you're saying is one day this is going to end because we suck. It's just that somebody's going to have to be there for it. Really what this is, man, is what the nerds call religious trauma. I let go of that stuff, quote unquote, but it's still deep down inside me. So a part of me's still waiting on it all to happen,
Yeah, no, I mean, I got it big time. I think about that Bill Burr bit all the time when he does the curling thing where he's like, you just go, oh, let it go. And I don't go to church. I hate all that shit, but I still like so much of my hair trigger responses are absolutely guided by that fucking preacher's voice in the back of my head or preacher's wife's voice in the back of my head. Sorry, Trey.
Well,
I know that you don't have anything on any of this.
Well, to be clear, anybody listening, no part of me thinks the book of the Revelation is coming true. I guess what I'm expressing is I wish seeing all this didn't make me think about it at all.
Right.
It does.
Right. Well, just think about like a Will Smith movie instead.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, things don't hit,
No, things do not hit.
I tell you what does hit. Going to a music festival in the middle of a pandemic. I can't wait to not be anxious at all.
Oh my God, dude, that sounds like a nightmare.
I mean, I've always been a stand at the back guy. It's a very open situation there if you want it to be, or at least every year I've been. You know what I mean? Trae, you can back me up or tell me I'm full of shit on this. Other than going through the gates, you can pretty much avoid people.
Yeah, if you hang in the back, yeah, for sure. And it's all outdoors and everything.
Yeah.
Who's headlining like all the nights?
Foo Fighters, Tyler the Creator, Lizzo. I'm gonna forget some of them because I'm half delirious right now.
Lizzo's gonna be there.
Yeah, Run the Jewels.
Hell yeah.
Isbell's gonna be there. That new kid in the country, Zach Bryan, is gonna be there. I think I sent some of his stuff from YouTube like a year ago.
No, the dude that says Flying or Crying or and Heading South.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corey left. Anyway, I'm gonna see him. Corey disappeared, or is that?
Yeah, he does hit. As I recall, I sent that to y'all from Reddit a long time ago. And then we listened to the album. We listened to the album on the way to the next city right after that. I don't know what to do about Corey because he's the one that's recording this.
That's my bad. That makes sense because I thought Brian sent it to me. I thought I sent it to y'all.
Yeah, no, he's got. I can't remember the lyric right now, but I really love that. I mean, both of those songs really, really hit for me. I know that album is called Deanna or something like that. It's named after his mama.
Yeah. Do you know the story of Heading South, like how and why he wrote it?
I know that I read an article that had all this in it back when this first came out or whatever, but I don't remember.
He got to play a show opening for his hero Tyler Childers.
Right.
He got the call and then wrote that song about that. That's what's happening to me in my life. And anyway, that hits for me. He's also he seems like a decent kid.
Right.
Hey, speaking of music and stuff like that, and this is just by the nature of me talking about a thing that we're doing, it is a plug. But while plugging, I just wanted to say, Drew, Bubba Shot the podcast. I don't think we've ever had as good a feedback or good a reviews on any side podcast project that we've done. I mean, we got some love on Tiger King, but that was a fucking flash in the pan. But it turns out people really, really love hearing about 90s country music.
Yeah, man, it's been great. It's been fun. I lost the intro. I didn't bring I'm at home and I didn't accidentally left my external hard drive. So Andy was trying to find all my files for me yesterday. So maybe I do have the intro somewhere. We just couldn't figure it out together. Anyway, I'm saying all that to say I redid the intro yesterday while sick. not wanting to be alive, and it was still the most fun thing I've done in months. Just redoing the intro. I don't know if y'all heard it. I feel like it was pretty good. I was talking about O.J. Simpson chase and the car scene in Third Rock from the Sun.
I have
two
not.
seminal moments that happened at the same time in American history.
I had a friend of the show and also just friend of mine in real life, Thomas, who WellRED super fan. Shout out to Thomas. He messaged me and he said, "Dude, this." He goes, "This." He goes, "This '90s country podcast is giving me life." He goes, "I'm enjoying it so much. I've listened to all the episodes twice." He goes, "Also, it made me remember that I needed to go back and revisit the Boner Jam saga." He goes, so I revisited. I know. I was like, holy shit. He goes, so I revisited the Boner Jam saga, and I'll have you know that I've been drunk for 2 goddamn days listening to nothing but Nelly. So thanks. So
Nelly gonna be at Bonnaroo.
A word?
Yeah, and I'm trying to con Bryson to come down just for that day, and I'm this close to getting it done.
Dude, did you see that? Did you see that Lovers and Friends festival that I shared the other day?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, that's what's up. Where is that? Atlanta?
Vegas. No, it's in Vegas.
Vegas. All right.
Yeah, I know why you would think Atlanta, and I definitely did. But
go over some of the lineup. Everybody will know why.
This is Boner Jam. Yeah, dude, this is Boner Jam Central. Headliners: Lauryn Hill, Usher, Ludacris, Lil Jon, TLC, Sierra, Nelly, Brandy, Monica, Neo, Ashanti, Ja Rule, Timbaland. I haven't even scratched the goddamn surface of what's going on here. Trina.
Oh, yeah.
Trina. Yin Yang Twins, by the way, I'm very surprised. They're in the small billing down here at the bottom. I figured they'd throw them up there. I guess they're like, look, man, if we put Lil Jon up here, everybody knows what time it is. They know the Yin Yang Twins are going to be coming through. Too Short, Juvenile, fucking Fat Joe, Drew Hill, Mike Jones.
Who?
Mike Jones. Baby Bash and Pretty Ricky. Buddy, let me tell you something right now. This is and I will plug it for them. All right, it's Las Vegas. It's May 14th is sold out, but they got tickets for May 15th, 2022 in Las Vegas. Everybody's been locked up for years. All right, Pretty Ricky's going to be there. Over under.
Babies conceived.
Yep. I'm gonna put it at 100.
Yeah,
yeah, and I say over.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, that sounds like a good goddamn time. That's the Boner Jam Festival 2022 for sure.
Yeah, we want to thank Lovers and Friends for sponsoring the WellRED podcast. We work closely with them in a partnership, and it's a good one.
Those artists that I just named were very important in my formative years. I will plug them for free on anything.
Absolutely.
Because they have certainly helped me out.
Trey, you didn't comment much on when we were talking about Bubba just now. I kind of want to hear your thoughts on it. I feel like what I love about it is it's nostalgia, but it's like so healthy. Does that mean like a lot of nostalgia is kind of unhealthy because it's like old people sitting around wishing they could be racist, or two rungs down from that. It's just like looking back on how it used to be, and it's like, man, get your life together. But this feels like nostalgia in a good way.
Yeah, no, I mean it's really hitting for me, and I'm glad it's hitting for people because it's just. Yeah, I mean, because not going to get into all that shit. Once again, I've talked about plenty of it before, but a whole lot of this period of my life where these songs were hitting for me, nothing else in the world was.
It was just these songs, yeah.
Yeah, right. So, like, I feel like the fact that when I hear these songs and talk about them, it hits for me and doesn't take me to like any kind of dark. It doesn't remind me of like darker times or whatever. Like it does, but it don't. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like that means that anyone should have roughly the same experience. If you grew up listening to these songs and your childhood was awesome, then of course it's going to hit for you. But even if it wasn't, the song still hit even during that. Then it's going to be a positive experience. I think if you fucked with this music at all, then you're going to appreciate.
Yeah, I have the opposite experience where like these songs remind me of a time when things hit even harder somehow.
Yeah, right.
My life was just fucking way better when this shit was popping.
Eating sandwiches, drinking milk at your granny's. Yeah, I bet that is. Watching the Braves.
Oh my God, dude. Hell yeah. All that shit. I'd take all that shit. Yeah, you're right. Nostalgia is a dangerous drug.
Well, that's where you can get to the weird part of it. But I just feel like 90s country. Trey, you just made me pine because the hardest time in my life coincided with me getting really into Ben Harper, like in in that goofy white boy way. I really wish there was a whole podcast about Ben Harper. I would dive in. That'd be for 8 people, but I'd be one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was one of them that heard the song "I Want to Burn One Down" and really thought that my mind had been opened to something that nobody else knew about, and I was the coolest motherfucker in the world.
That
song does go.
Song. It does go, but that was by far literally every other one was about being sad.
Oh yeah, that's definitely like that's almost everyone I know is entree. Like that's how they find out about Ben Harper, and then they listen to other stuff and realize how sad they truly were. But yeah, that's always the first one you listen to. Just like with John Prine, the first one you hear is "Illegal Smile."
The first one I heard was "Ground On Down" for whatever reason. There's a YouTube video, Ben Harper and Innocent Criminals live in Montreal, where he does an extended the solo at the beginning of a song. He just goes forever.
Mm-hmm.
That YouTube video, and I apologize for this word. This is the name of the song. There is a live King of Leon in one of the tents at Bonnaroo playing Tranny. Those are the two YouTube videos where I go look at them and I go, man, it don't get no better than that. I wish you could go back.
Yeah, did y'all fuck with Citizen Cope?
Oh yeah,
Any
baby.
Citizen Cope fans in here?
These feelings won't go away.
That song slaps.
Dude, that's one of the only songs that will make me want to jerk off. You know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of rap songs, but it's because I'm watching the video while I'm listening to it. You know what I mean? But like when I hear Sideways, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna jerk off slow. You know what I mean?
Sideways by Citizen Cope. There's 2 versions of
the Santana version.
Yes.
The Santana, and I first started fucking with that song back in it was still like illegal downloading from the internet days. So it was just Citizen Cope Sideways. It didn't say like featuring Santana or nothing. And the only version I ever knew had those rad ass guitar licks in it.
Yeah.
That are just such a huge part of the song. And then years later, I went to revisit Citizen Cope and found that song on Spotify, and it didn't have the guitar in it. And I was like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
Yeah.
Right. And then I found the other version and found out that was Carlos Santana doing that in that song. And it just all came together. Was he doing that? You know how he had his whole thing where people would come in and sing while he was jamming? Was he also just taking existing songs from other people and just adding his ultra hits to them? Because
I'm fairly certain that's a big part of. I think that's a pretty big part of what he does.
We were talking about him in the green room. He's the DJ, right? When I was talking about this, he's the DJ Khaled of rock and roll.
We talked about him on the podcast. I brought him up in the context of just that album, Santana, the Supernatural or whatever. Yeah, but
yeah, he definitely does that where he goes in and is like, hey, this song hits, but
you know what would hit harder?
Yeah, if
you had me on it, yeah.
Listen, you guys almost really blew my mind because for a second I got my songs confused. The same thing happened to me, Trae, with the song.
Hey, Mama.
The song, Bullet in a Target.
Yeah.
The first one I heard was with Rhymsayer. Is that his name? Who wrote Jesus Walks?
I don't know.
I think it's Rhymsayer is his name. He's got this rap about being, it's like what you've done is got yourself between a bullet and a hard or a target. It's like being between a rock and a hard place. He's got a whole verse about going to war because you needed a scholarship. And the first time I heard that, I was like, "Woo! It's all my boys," And then I found out later that was the remix, and I was just as crushed. For 2 seconds, I thought it was the same song. I thought there were 3 versions, right?
Let me let y'all in on a little something. I don't know if y'all saw me in the middle of y'all's discussion just start laughing.
Yeah.
I was trying to look up see what Ben Harper was up to right now. Couple things. I forgot that he had been with Laura Dern, had married her, so that's what's up. Good for him.
They got kids.
Hell yeah. Here's the thing that made me laugh. At the bottom, it says, like on Wikipedia, it's like for every super hit and celebrity, there's like philanthropy. Like here's what they do that's nice for everybody. It says Harper supports Little Kids Rock, a national nonprofit organization that works to restore and revitalize music education in disadvantaged public high schools. I thought that shit said Harper supports Little Kid Rock, and I thought that there was some sort of like novelty act, like Josie and Kid Rock combined, and like like Ben Harper was like propping this act up, and boy, son, thinking about like a 3-foot Kid Rock about tore me out of my goddamn frame.
Corey, don't make us talk about JC again. You don't want to.
I'm not. I just wanted to let y'all know why I was laughing, because like
I bet they got that somewhere out there
for sure, dude. I mean, Rule 43, right?
In the county fair circuit or something. There's
Little Kid Rock.
There's a Little Kid Rock.
I bet they got that at a Kid Rock show sometime.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
Hey, I went and saw him in Skinner. It's still one of the 10 best concerts I've ever seen. He came out of the floor in a white suit playing a white piano on Only God Knows Why. It was phenomenal.
Dude, my buddies they've gone to see him like 10 fucking times, and dude, I was gonna go with him one time, and we were just on the road and shit, but my buddy was like, buddy, I'm telling you, man, he's like, don't get me wrong, I'm a huge fan, but like, even if you wasn't, he goes, buddy, they just fucking, this is a goddamn great show. And I'm like, I mean, I can see it, fucking fireworks and, you know, titties.
I've never heard anything else about his live show other than
it's rad.
Then it's really, really rad. Having said that, I've seen some like clips that have gone viral in recent years where apparently at his live shows now, sometimes he'll do a whole like
Trump thing,
political thing where it's like he's making like a political speech or plays like a political speech video or something like that, and they eat that up. But like that is not going to hit for me at a you know, if it's just Kid Rock just playing the fucking hits, and I know how he is about everything, but that's all he's doing is Kid Rocking, you know. I'm all for it, but if he's doing all that shit nowadays, then I ain't really in. I'd have to go
for the record
in that part or something.
Yeah, I was about to say, for the record, I love Bruce Springsteen, but if I went to see Bruce and in the middle for 15 minutes he just did a stump speech, I'd be like, I respect your right to say this, and I probably agree with all of it, but like Tom Joad, baby, let's fucking, you know, for sure. I would never actually say shut up and sing, but I would certainly feel it in my heart in the moment. You know what I mean? Say that shit on Twitter, son. You know what I'm saying? Fucking rock right now.
I will admit that when Kanye ranted at Bonnaroo, I was excited because
that's close to a rap, though.
It's not maybe, but it was more like this is part of why I came. I knew this meltdown was coming. Let's go.
Right.
It's like, oh, y'all booing? When's the last time 80,000 bleep showed up in a field to see, you know, the boo dude? So like,
well, yeah. I mean, that's pretty rad. That's not at all what Kid Rock's doing.
Well, it was 15 minutes long. It was 15 minutes long, and I would argue that it is. When any artist starts doing that kind of thing, it's a meltdown. We already can't talk about mental health with regular people who have sad lives. We don't know how to address their problems. So if somebody hits that hard, goes nuts, we truly don't know what to do. So we're like, well, we make fun of them. We talk, you know, there's the whole thing where, what's his name? The Scottish late night guy apologized to Britney.
Craig Ferguson.
Craig Ferguson. We don't know what to do when a crazy person goes crazy, because we don't even know what to do when a regular person goes crazy. But
for sure.
Kanye and Kid Rock have gone crazy.
Yeah, it seems that Kid Rock may have better people around him, just because, like, I mean, he's gone crazy. Don't get me wrong. I don't like what neither of them are saying, but like everything he said, everything that Kid Rock says, at least kind of sounds like there was some sort of like press letter he wrote out, and it's like kind of straight. With Kanye, that motherfucker is liable to just be like, they've got fucking cameras in my shoes. You know what I mean? Like again, everything Kid Rock's saying is terrible too, but like Kanye will just go completely off into Never Never Land, where you're like, motherfucker, what? Like with Kid Rock, I at least hear my neighbors say that same shit.
Well, that's why I was about to say Kid Rock's whole deal, it seems like
he's gonna run
made in a lab to pander to his crowd specifically. He's just going real far with it. Whereas with Kanye, it often feels like the exact opposite. Do you know what I mean? Yes. Like he's antagonizing.
He's cussing people out. He's trying to lose his base.
His base. Yeah, right. Yeah. So it is very
I
different.
agree with y'all. I think what's happening, and I don't know how much
Rock and Kanye
out last week. I think Kid Rock is in mourning over Josie. It's hard to lose a rapping dwarf. It just is. It's just hard to get through that. And Kanye has schizophrenia. So I agree with you guys that I'm comparing apples to oranges. It's just that fruit is in the same section.
For sure. And you don't know I guess my thing is like, when I look at Kid Rock, I think here's a guy who I could believe actually has it all together and is just like, hey, I see a grift and these were all my fans anyways.
That's true.
So why not work them up into a fervor? With Kanye, if Kanye is doing, if everything Kanye has done has been on purpose, thought out, then he's still insane. You know what I mean? Like that in itself is lunacy.
But some of that had to be like the foray into fashion and all that. Some of that, it's hard to separate with Kanye. Like he's been genius and crazy the whole time.
It's that thin line. Kanye's just a dude that like that motherfucker has just been told too many times that his dumb ideas are good. Like dude, like a lot. Some of his shoes, died. Yeah, on the titty table, and that didn't hit. But like some of his shoes bang, but like them fucking like foam croc looking motherfuckers, like man, he should have had a buddy slap the shit out of him and be like, Kanye, look, man, it can't all be 808s and heartbreakers, dog. Like you got to step back, chill.
Much like a lot of Corey's dreams, his mama died on the titty table.
They died on the titty table. Well, that's it for us. Right. Go to wellredcomedy.com for tickets to shows. Come see us if you're vaccinated and be safe, and we'll be safe and do shows. Wellredcomedy.com, WELLRED comedy.com. Coming up, we're going to be in Raleigh, Huntsville, Alabama, DC, Minneapolis, Atlanta, and one of the shows is sold out there at the Variety Playhouse, but there's some tickets for the other one. So go to wellredcomedy.com and get them. We'll see you out there on the road. Thank you all for listening to the WellRED Show. We love to stick around longer, but we got to go. Tune in next week if you got nothing to do. Thank you. God bless you. Good night and askew.
They're the liberal rednecks. They like cornbread and butt sex. They care way too much, but don't give a fuck. They're the liberal rednecks that makes some people upset, but they got 3 big old dicks that you can suck.